Has your doctor told you that you have insulin resistance? Do you even know what that means and what the implications are for your health? Well, stay tuned and find out. Welcome to the Fabulous Health Show. I'm your host, Terry Chrisman, and I'm a whole foods plant-based nutritionist. And this show gives you the tools to obtain optimal health so that you can live a long, happy life and age with grace and vitality. I go live every day at 10 a.m. US Central Time until November the 19th, 2021, after which I'm going to go weekly and I'm going to have guests. So hang out for that. That's going to be fantastic. So much fun. I'm live every day here on Facebook and on YouTube at Fabulous Health. And I love to read your comments. I love to hear what you have to say and your thoughts on the podcast. Please keep them coming in. And thank you so much to everybody who's downloaded the podcast on audio. You can get it on Apple, Google, Spotify. Just head over to fabuloushealth.net, click on your favorite podcast platform, and you can sign up right there and then. So thank you so much for listening. Now, before we start, I just want to tell you something really exciting. Today is November 11, and if you're watching live, well, it's Singles Day, and Singles Day is the world's largest shopping day. It originated in China, and in fact, Singles Day is really big in China. And so Amazon has jumped on the bandwagon, of course, but what I'm telling you about is that today only they've reduced the price of the best air fryer in the world. It's the Breville 900. It is fantastic. It's normally $499. Today only it's $319. And you can get one by heading over to fabuloushealth.net, click on the shop tab, and then get yours today when you go to the Amazon store. I just thought I'd let you know because, dude, I bought one and I didn't pay $319 for it. I'd tell you that. So if somebody told me it was on sale, I would have been quick sticks to go get one. All right, back to the show. First of all, I've got a disclaimer for you. This show is for educational and informational purposes only. The information shared today is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease and should not take the place of personalized professional medical care. Please consult your primary care physician before making any changes to your diet or medications. Let's talk about insulin resistance. What is it? It is a major risk factor for the development of many metabolic lifestyle diseases, such as cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, which is high blood pressure, hyperlipidemia, which is high cholesterol, and metabolic syndrome, which is all of that. So what happens is, in a normal human body, we eat food that contains carbohydrates. Now, the carbohydrates are broken down by enzymes into glucose molecules. And then those glucose molecules travel through the bloodstream. Now, while they're in the bloodstream, there's a signal from the brain to the pancreas, beta cells to produce insulin. Beta cells are what make insulin. So the pancreas pumps out all this insulin into the bloodstream. Now, the main job of the insulin is to act as a door opener to a cell. Excuse me, I'm going to have a drink. So glucose feeds the cell, and that glucose is turned into energy, which is called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, in a little powerhouse called the mitochondria that looks like a tiny little kind of caterpillar cocoon. You may have seen when you've done some research. So what happens is the glucose needs to get into the cell and transferred into energy, and the act of insulin is to open up the cell door. It's like a key to open up the cell door. But when you have insulin resistance, the glucose can't get through the door because the cell is insulin resistant. Did I say glucose resistant? I did, didn't I? When you have insulin resistance, the glucose can't get through the door because the cell is insulin resistant. The key doesn't fit. So at the same time, what normally happens is when the pancreas releases the insulin, when the beta cells make the insulin, it sends a signal to the liver. And the liver normally stops producing glucose. Oh, I need my head read today. producing glucose from its stored glycogen. So, for example, I'm going to take you back. Before you ate the food, you had no glucose flying around in your body, but you need glucose to survive and to move and to make energy. So when you're not eating food, your liver breaks down the glycogen that it stores into glucose molecules, and it goes into the cell so that you can make energy. That's a normal thing that happens all the time. And there's always some circulating glucose in your body, but and in your blood. But when you eat something, the brain tells the liver to stop breaking down that glycogen into glucose because it doesn't need any, because you just ate all the glucose. But when it comes to insulin resistance, the brain doesn't tell the liver to stop making glucose. So then you get tons of glucose in your body, in your blood, and then that is not good. So insulin resistance is not a disease, but a physiological abnormality that increases the risk of developing other diseases. So that's what you don't want. Now, too much fat in your muscle tissue can lead to an overabundance of triglycerides in the muscle tissue. And there's another word for them is triacylglycerols, TAG. So you may have seen TAGs on your blood test. You don't want tons of those. So consistent high circulating insulin acting upon the liver stimulates these liver TAGs and stimulates VLDL production. VLDL is very low density lipoprotein cholesterol. This accumulates fat in the liver and the potential for development of fatty liver disease. Another thing is you might also have mitochondrial dysfunction. So too much fat in the muscle, again, can result in the accumulation of toxic ceramides, which hinder the mitochondria's ability to convert the glucose to ATP, the body's energy source. Remember a few minutes ago, I told you that the glucose goes into the cell and then it goes into the mitochondria. The mitochondria converts it to ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and that's your energy source. So if your mitochondria is not working properly because there's too much fat in the muscle cell, then that's another reason why you get insulin resistance. Now, you probably heard that diabetes is the most widely known disease to stem from insulin resistance, but there are other diseases that can be triggered from it as well, such as cardiovascular disease, fatty liver, I mentioned that a minute ago, high blood pressure, polycystic ovary syndrome, sleep apnea, and cancer. So how can you know if you've got insulin resistance? Well, hopefully the doctor will tell you when they read your blood tests. But you can look at the blood tests and see the ratio between the TAG triglycerides and your HDL cholesterol. HDL cholesterol is the good cholesterol. So the lower the ratio between the TAG and the HDL, the better. And the higher the ratio between the TAG and HDL, the worse, the more risk you have. So if your ratio is under 0.066, then you're okay. And if it's over 1.8, you really, really need to address this before you're at risk of more disease. Insulin resistance is a ticking time bomb. It is a red flag telling you that you need to change your diet, because that is how you fix it. You fix it by losing body fat. You want to get that fat out of the muscle tissues. Now, let me have a caveat right here. If you are a long distance endurance runner, you are going to store fat in your muscle tissues for quick energy during long distance runs. That is a normal part of athlete metabolism. But I'm talking about people who don't run 100 miles every weekend. I'm talking about people who probably don't exercise very much and have a lot of body fat. So this is information for you. Okay, nutritional supplements offer little benefit. Yesterday, I was at a networking event and a gentleman said to me, "Oh yeah, I bought this thing at Costco and it's lower my insulin. Dude, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You have to fix your diet. Multiple studies have shown that a whole foods, plant-based diet rich in whole grains, legumes, fresh vegetables, and fruits, and maybe some nuts are associated with better health and metabolic outcomes. So compared to the standard American diet, which, by the way, has the acronym SAD for a good reason, a whole foods plant-based diet is typically higher in vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, water, polyunsaturated fatty acids, and fiber, while concurrently being lower in the bad things like cholesterol, saturated fat, nitrites, and other disease-causing agents. So the recommendation is to obtain your carbohydrates from vegetables, legumes, and whole foods. Avoid the processed sugars and the processed grain bakery products. Obtain your protein from legumes, nuts, and vegetables, and avoid animal protein. Obtain your polyunsaturated fatty acids from nuts, seeds, and avocado, and avoid saturated fat from dairy and animal sources. So I hope this was helpful. You know, I'm saying the same thing every single podcast. You've got to get on the whole foods plant-based diet if you want to be healthy and live long, happy lives. And I mentioned exercise a minute ago. Look, not all of us are long distance endurance runners, but if you want to be healthy, you've got to move your body too. So that means walking. It means going out with your dogs. It means playing with your kids. It means kicking a ball around the soccer field. It means jumping up and down to some exercise video on your TV and having a giggle. That's what it means. So please include some exercise in your daily routine. Okay, I hope this was helpful today. Ask me questions, leave your comments. I love seeing them. If you think you are in danger of insulin resistance, go talk to your doctor and talk about changing your lifestyle rather than getting on, medications. Who wants medications? Not me. If you want to take your health to the next level, how about checking out my new course? It's called The Quick Road to Fabulous Weight Loss. It's an online course that takes 5 short weeks and you can lose up to 10 pounds. Hey, you could even lose more than 10 pounds and you can get 25% off with the promo code podcast, PODCAST, up until the end of November 2021. Okay, tomorrow we are going to talk about the effect of diet on your mental health. Very interesting studies I've been reading. Okay, have a fabulous day and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.